Donald Trump edited a poll that showed him and Biden being tied in swing states, but first, watch this clip of Fox News being forced to report the fact that Biden is 6 points up in Wisconsin. Take a look.
But this one just came out and shows a pretty big jump for Biden, up 6 points. Razor-thin margins in the past two elections in Wisconsin. Biden in 2020, Trump in 16 were the winners, both by 20,000 votes in that neighborhood of 20,000 votes. But now Biden is ahead by 6 in this new Quinnipiac poll. As I said, that is the largest margin that we've seen in Wisconsin polling so far.
Now, despite that Quinnipiac poll being great for Biden, I'm going to be straight up with you guys. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It should terrify all of us that Biden and Trump are neck and neck in most swing state polls. And Trump is even winning in most national polls, but national polls don't really matter. It's about those few swing states. Now, I have a few thoughts about this. First of all, we're still about 6 months out from the election, and most of the polls that come out aren't indicative of what's actually going to happen on election day. A lot of experts say that after Labor Day weekend in September, that is when polling begins to really matter. Secondly, a lot of people say that the event that will change the outcome of the election, this big event, it hasn't even occurred yet. Most of the massive events in the 2016 election happened only 2 or 3 months out. Think about Comey's letter. Think about the Donald Trump tapes. And also, the Biden campaign has been completely outgunning the Trump campaign when it comes to fundraising, when it comes to voter mobilization, even when it comes to field offices in swing states. And a lot of these swing states, Biden has 10 plus field offices already opened and operating to get out the vote, to make sure that people are ready to vote for him and vote blue down ballot. Donald Trump doesn't have any of that infrastructure in place. But a counterpoint to that is that back in 2016, Hillary Clinton also raised more money than Donald Trump. Hillary Clinton also opened more field offices than Donald Trump, but she still lost by that very thin margin. I'm just trying to give you guys realistic expectations. Right now, the polling showing that it's neck and neck in swing states should absolutely terrify us. We should not bury our heads in the sands. But in that same vein, I am still pretty confident that Joe Biden will win. I mean, Joe Biden already beat Donald Trump, and Joe Biden is not Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton was a suboptimal candidate for many reasons, even if you like her personally. Joe Biden already beat Donald Trump. Joe Biden is a lot more likable, and Donald Trump is going through these massive trials that will be broadcast all over the nation. But I'll break down more polling in a second. I really quickly want to cover this story about Donald Trump manipulating polling to make it seem like he's winning every single time. It's kind of like when he says he wins in golf every single time. But this MeidasTouch article reads, Trump has demonstrated a pattern of removing content from tweets, videos, and articles he doesn't like. Trump loves to post poll results, and one of his favorite accounts is Interactive Polls on Twitter. But when he doesn't like the poll numbers, he crops them out. In April, Trump cut off poll numbers showing Biden beating him in Wisconsin. Late last night, Trump did it again. He cropped away portions of tweets he didn't like. Trump posted tweets from Interactive Polls, a Twitter account with questionable credibility to say the least, showing him ahead in Pennsylvania and Minnesota. However, he cropped off portions showing him tied in a three-way race with RFK Jr. in those states. Here's Trump's Truth Social post last night showing that in Pennsylvania, he's beating Biden by 3 percentage points. But when you factor in RFK, it is a tie. It is dead heat. That just shows that RFK Jr. was meant to be the spoiler candidate for Joe Biden. He was supposed to take away votes from Joe Biden. But when you run a candidate who is an open conspiracy theorist, who is anti-vax, inevitably he will start to steal away votes from the candidate who is also an open conspiracy theorist. Donald Trump then posted a poll from Minnesota and again cropped off the poll that factors in RFK Jr. Donald Trump's Truth Social post shows him up 3 percentage points in Minnesota, but the original tweet shows right below that Trump and Biden are tied when you factor in RFK Jr. and Cornel West. These types of posts show Trump's pattern of manipulating media. Trump regularly edits news articles to his favor, posting screenshots of them so they look like the real thing. However, these manipulated articles have scrubbed out all the content he doesn't like. Now, it's interesting because election analyst G. Elliott Morris also points out via Twitter or X that the same Quinnipiac PAC poll we talked about earlier has Biden up only 1 point when voters are able to pick other candidates, such as Kennedy, Stein, or Cornel West. Now, we don't know how many will actually pick those options. It's probably a low, but still non-zero number, so you do want to account for this pattern, and it hurts Biden. It's weird because some polls, most polls, show third-party candidates polling votes away from Trump, but there are polls showing third-party candidates polling votes away from Biden. I'm just trying to set realistic expectations here. Now, fortunately, a lot of these third-party candidates will have trouble gaining ballot access in these certain swing states. For example, Wisconsin, where this poll was done, it is very, very unlikely that RFK Jr. will actually be on the ballot in that state. And RFK Jr. is right now the most popular third-party guy, but from my point of view, I mean, just from my personal experiences, I think 3 out of 4 people voting for RFK Jr. were going to be MAGA people anyways, or not even vote whatsoever because they're so disillusioned with the system. A very anecdotal story, one of my friends is a very big fan of RFK Jr., and his whole family is, they all voted for Trump in 2020. They're just looking for somebody who is anti-establishment and who can drain the swamp or whatever, and they think RFK is the best guy to do that. Now, it also seems like there will be a chunk of protest voters who choose to vote for Jill Stein or Cornel West due to Biden's handling of the war between Israel and Hamas. Now, it's okay if you disagree with Biden's handling of certain situations, but from my point of view, my personal perspective, I don't think that any foreign policy issue should supersede all of these domestic issues that we're facing. Like, Donald Trump is an actual threat to democracy, and we can go down the list on every single domestic issue, and Joe Biden will be much, much better. If you believe in climate change, Joe Biden passes massive climate change legislation. Meanwhile, Donald Trump stripped away EPA protections. Joe Biden is pro-choice. Donald Trump wants to pack the Supreme Court with right-wing judges. Joe Biden will allow education reform, gun reform, etc., etc. Donald Trump will move us farther away from all of that stuff. Even on foreign issues, Joe Biden will strengthen our alliance with NATO and protect Ukraine. Donald Trump will pull us out of NATO. He has floated that idea multiple times. So I don't think that one issue should supersede all of these domestic issues. Now, if we look at some polling of college-age students, issues college-age students say are most important to them, the interesting thing is the conflict in the Middle East is actually the very, very last one. So it makes me wonder if social media is pushing the extremes of both sides and making it seem like it's this massive issue among all these people. So if we look at issues college students say are most important to them, this actually tracks on to most of the people I know that are my age. Most of them are talking about things like healthcare reform, which is number 1, or educational funding and access, which is number 2, economic fairness and opportunity, racial justice and civil rights. There we have climate change, gun control, immigration, national security/terrorism, and at the very last we have the conflict in the Middle East. Now, election data and polling in general is something that I actually am really passionate about. I love talking about it. I've paid attention to it my entire life, so I'm going to be making more videos talking about polling and breaking down new polls that come out. And I'm not doing it with the intention of setting unrealistic expectations. I could come in here and say Biden is going to destroy Trump, it's going to be a blowout, but I'm going off all of the data that we have available to us. So if you want to see more polling videos, leave a comment and let me know. Comment a blue heart, leave a like on this video, subscribe. Most importantly, have a great Friday, everyone.